Good morning and welcome back to the channel. We're in Faro, where it's quite difficult to park a 7.5 metre van, but not impossible.
I've just been shat on. And while Cat's buying the parking, I'm taking my life in the hands because we are parked underneath hundreds of pigeons. And in fact, the first cut on this, I got shat on. Look at them. Hundreds of the little buggers. And now look at my foot.
Oh, get in the van. What on earth is going on? It's like a pigeon shit apocalypse. What? I think I dodged them. Is my hat okay?
Your hat's okay. You want to park in Faro? You have to dodge the gauntlet of the pigeon shit. My God. Right, let's go and see this chapel of bones.
So today we're in Faro and we've only really got one big thing on our list, which is to see the Chapel of Bones, Capella de Ossos, which is at the rear of this big church that we're just approaching now. At the rear of this big church behind us, we're hoping to find a small chapel, just 2 metres by 3 metres, Capella de Ossos, the Chapel of Bones, made from the skulls and bones of 1,250 monks. That might seem a bit grim, but they didn't do them all in to build a chapel or anything. Cemetery in the local area was overflowing and they exhumed all the bodies of the monks to make space, and they used the bones to build this chapel. It's €2 to go in, I hope. I'll confirm on the other side. And it's open in the mornings and the afternoon, but closed for lunch. Let's see what we can find then. I'm quite excited and a bit creeped out. I wanted to give you the name of the church, but it's a big one, so I'm going to have to read it off the screen, so bear with me. So the church is Igreja de Ordem Terceira de Nossa Senhora de Monte de Coma. Sorry, I couldn't read that out straight. It was a lot of words. Hopefully I didn't butcher the pronunciation too much. And the Chapel of Bones is just out the back. So the church itself looks stunning in the photos online. So we're going to have a look at that first and then have a little look at the chapel.
And we're in, and it was €2. Make sure you have the right change, because he's a grumpy bugger.
So the church here was built in the early 1700s. I think it was 1717, but it was massively damaged in the great earthquake that hit this region. The gold in here was all imported from Brazil during the height of the Age of Discovery. And wow, what a lot of gold. They must have needed a whole ship to bring it in. Come here for a bit of restful contemplation, you're shit out of luck because it's rammed in there. The skulls are missing from the entrance, but look at all the other bones. A lot of faces not looking at me. Do you want to meet my mate? This is Bob. Meet Bob. It's creepy, isn't it? Obrigada. Well, that was really interesting. It's slightly creepy.
That was by far the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the whole floor was made up of like the gravestones of, obviously not all the monks because there's 1,250 in there, but yeah, I guess the more important monks, and then some of them are laid out in the garden as well, and then you can see little grave markers in the garden, and then the whole thing is just lined with bones, not only skulls either. In between all the skulls are all the other bones. It's like spine bones and things like that. Spine bones.
Vertebrae.
That's the one. Yeah. I've just seen 1,250 dead people and he expects me to make sense. That was weird.
That was weird, but well worth the €2.
Absolutely, yeah. What a fascinating little thing to do. So yeah, I guess we'll go and get the dog now and have a little look around Faro.
Oh, if they're flapping now, you wait till Nala comes. New fear unlocked.
The birds! Someone call Hitchcock, quick! My God, yeah, I've just got all the way around the edge of the parking spot to stay away from the pigeons. Oh, I hate them, Stu. Just let me in the van. Oh, let me in.
I just did.
It's not open. Just tricking me.
I think I'm going to have to clean the solar panels when we leave here, because we ain't going to be getting any solar with the amount of pigeon poo on them. Van's covered in it.
Christ alive. Oh, I'm going to use them. I did mention the parking earlier, and just like Lisbon, there's loads of street parking all over Faro. It's just a bit tricky if you're in a long vehicle. If you're in a proper motorhome, forget it. All the roads in just say no motorhomes. You wouldn't make the corners, you have to shunt it around a couple. Yeah, if you were wider than us, I think you're really going to struggle. But if you're not, there is plenty of street parking. You just have to be patient and confident and be prepared to drive around and look for a spot. Alternatively, there's an air over by the airport and apparently good transport links. It's just a bit tricky with us with the dog, so we tend not to like jump on buses and things. We're going to go meet up with a couple of other content creators that we know, those two nomad vegans, for a quick drink because they just happen to be in the city at the same time as us. Popular with everybody, and Portugal's a really beautiful country, but like the dogs we've met en route, some places have a real air of neglect.
Well, whilst we're waiting for our friends, we've just had a look at some of the restaurants because we're both a bit hungry, and this one's got an interactive menu. Look at this. Chicken skewer, veal tenderloin, chicken breast. Oh, I want shellfish, stuffed crab.
Yum.
Grilled tiger prawns.
That's quite cool.
That is clever.
Well, that was a nice little meet-up. We met them in Spain last time we came through, and we've seen them once at home as well. Now we've met them in Portugal. Just been discussing which country we might meet up in next. How to be a little travel buddy, eh? Yeah, it's now raining. Lots of fine, spitty rain. Rather than, we both wanted a bit of lunch now, So rather than sit outside in the rain, because nobody wants to eat their lunch like that, we're going to just drop the dog back to the van for an hour, and we'll leave her there while we go and grab a bit of lunch. Well, raincoat's on. Off to get a bit of lunch. It'll have to be a quick lunch because we've got an hour left on our paid parking. So it's 3 hours maximum at this spot. Like, one bird flapping is just a cute bird. 100 birds flapping is a horror movie. We found a little restaurant for lunch. Might it be noted that we're 5 weeks into the trip and Stu has not treated me to date night yet.
Still got 2 weeks to go.
Needs to get a wiggle on.
We had date lunch, we on about.
Oh, you pass anything off as a date, won't it? What you have? Oh, have you got specials then?
Yeah.
I missed that. Mixed grilled fish of the day with clams. What's clams rice?
Rice clams in it, probably. They chop the clams up into little tiny pieces and they look like rice. I don't know. I'm not buying it for the rice, I'm buying it for the mixed grilled fish.
So we love loads of different fish.
Yeah, we just hit sardines, salmon, dorado.
That sounds good. I feel like it would be too much fish, you know what I'm like? I just like a little bit of fish.
Well, you're not stealing any of mine.
Well, what about I want to taste it? That's mean. That's mean, isn't it, guys?
If you want fish, buy fish. I feel like Smithy in a Chinese.
Share food or Smithy in a Chinese.
Pete, have you thought about my boners?
Well, yes.
Right, but they're my boners. You want a boner? Order a boner. That's why I've ordered 2 boners.
3 actually.
No, I've had enough of it.
Lamb stew. It wasn't what he ordered. They ordered the lamb chops, but I don't want to make a fuss, and it does look delicious. I'm just going to eat it. How British.
Well, we timed that about right. We've just come out and the rain is just easing off. That was an absolutely beautiful meal.
It was, even if it wasn't what he ordered, it was delicious.
Yeah, my fish was good and relatively cheap. 2 drinks, 2 courses, €40. Can't go wrong for that.
And that lamb was melt in the mouth, and the potatoes were just right as well, because they can be a bit mushy in stews.
Right, back to the van now to check on Nala. And then it's an unexciting afternoon of shopping and washing, which we won't make you watch.
No, we know how to live. Trek to Lidl and a Revolution laundry.
Yeah, and then we're going to try and find a park up a little bit further down the coast, because we have heard that there's flamingos there.
Many of the supermarkets here offer a couple of motorhome spaces where you can stay over the night, and then I assume they want you to use the supermarket. So the Continente here has 4 motorhome spaces, and then the Carrefour has 3 or 4 spaces too. We've just pulled into Lidl just to do the Revolution laundry and do a shopping, and there are no motorhome spaces here, but as you just saw, there are plenty of motorhomes. It's like a campsite here. Wow, that's a lot of vans and motorhomes here. So it is tricky to get through the town centre, but no motorhome signs, like no access for motorhome signs everywhere, like we've been seeing all over Portugal, which is, I assume, why they're parked up over here. But yeah, Portugal, you need a bit of provision for motorhomes, guys.
Yeah, and teach people how to park. Get a load of that.
I mean, that's not even a motorhome. That's just a 4x4. Look at this guy here in his 4x4.
Can't get in their space and gets it on the curb.
Yeah, we've read all the stuff about how Portugal has been cracking down on van life, and you know how motorhomes are a pain here, but like we just wanted to come and see Portugal. Like, we don't want to be a problem. We want provision. We don't mind paying. We'd happily pay every night. When we were in Morocco, we paid almost every single night to park somewhere, and we would happily do that in Portugal too. But there's just no provision here. And then as soon as you hit the places where people want to be, like the cities and stuff, where you want to go and have a look around, or towns, you know, surf towns, some of the examples where we've seen no access for camper van signs have been Nazaré, Peniche. So all these big surf towns, Erisea, none of them you can't. I mean, there's basically, if you followed the signs, you're not even allowed to drive through town as a camper van. Most of the Algarve, as soon as you come towards the seafront, it's just no camper van signs. And even if you were pitched up on a site like 2 or 3 miles out of town, you still have to drive in for the day, which if you follow the rules here, it's almost impossible to do. It's very, very tricky. Just a little bit of provision, guys. We don't mind paying for it. Just somewhere to sleep at night and empty the toilet. Doesn't seem like a lot to ask, really.
Good morning and welcome to Santa Lucia, just outside of Tavira. It's a little park up that we were recommended by some friends. It's just a roadside parking. There is a car park at the end of the road, but it's paid. But there's a lot of roadside parking that's free of charge. There were about half a dozen vans here this evening, or last night. And yeah, other than being serenaded by marsh frogs all night, it was a very peaceful night. We've woken up today, blazing sunshine, in the hope that we will see some flamingos on the marsh next to us. But there's none there. Cass most disappointed. That was pretty much the only reason we drove all this way. It's because there were reports of flamingos in the marsh, but oh well, we can't have it all. So I'm just taking the dog out for a walk while Cass gets ready. We're going to go into Tavira town centre. There's a few bits and pieces in there that she's seen on Google and she'd like to have a look at. So that's the plan today.
Oh, welcome to Tavira. Proper summer vibes today. It's a scorcher. We've just parked up alongside the river and now we're going to take a walk into town where there's a castle and a couple of churches to see. Looks like a very pretty town. I'm still disappointed about the lack of flamingos, to be honest, but I'll take a church and a castle instead. Fire brigade to block my view.
Fair play, bring that round.
Yeah. Oh, I've stalled it.
Right, nobody saw you.
Not me watching a fire engine trying to get through a space that's far too small for it. It's my entertainment for the day anyway. Oh, they're getting the ladder out. So Stu spotted a pigeon that's right at the top there and it's still alive, hanging from the net.
Yeah, they put a net around the bell, obviously, to stop them nested in there. And we didn't know what he was doing, the fire brigade, but they just put the feet down on it, and it looks like they're going to go up and rescue the pigeon. So exciting times
it's
here
still
in
alive.
Portugal.
He looks like he's trapped by his foot. Yeah, look at his little wings flapping, bless him.
Yeah, I thought it was dead when I saw it, but as soon as he saw the fire engine moving, he started flapping, so he must know he's coming to help.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like we've got to film this. It's right up there by the bell.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he is going for the pigeon.
Oh my God.
Oh, I like that. That's so good.
Pigeon in a box.
We're in Tavira Castle Gardens. Tavira Castle was built by the Moors in the 10th and 11th century, and then following the conquest of this area under King James and the conquests, it was taken back into Christian hands, fortified, and then eventually fell into ruin. It's free entry into the castle and gardens. We've only just made it into the gardens so far, so I'm not sure how much there is to see here. But the gardens themselves are bloody beautiful. Oh, new lid.
No fear, dog, no fear.
What are you doing? Look how big a drop that is, you loon bag. Are so colourful, and it is only February. Be a hummingbird moth. It's usually Stu who spots all the cool critters, but it was my turn today. What an unexpected treat this place has been. Big thumbs up for Tavira Castle. Well, as you probably know, Stu and I aren't big city people, but we visited quite a few towns and cities in Portugal, and of all of them, Tavira has been my favourite. It's really, really lovely here and absolutely dripping in history. Well, that's it for our last little fling along the Portuguese coast. We're about 45 kilometres from the Spanish border, but we're not done with Portugal yet. We're going to head inland now and explore just some of the rural areas just before we cross over the border into Spain.
Hopefully you've enjoyed what you've seen today. If you have, give us a thumbs up and please subscribe to the channel, and then you'll be able to keep up with our venture back into Spain.
Yeah, but a few more days inland Portugal first, but that's us done with the Portuguese coast.
See you on the next one.
See you soon.